What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Real Spill Podcast. I'm your host, Don. This is episode 2 of the interview series. I'm here today with my boy, Monty. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
What up, y'all? Monty Alkanas. I'm an artist. I represent the 402. And, I'm an artist.
Feel it, man. My first introduction, or my first memory of you, we kind of talked about was in Omaha, doing a show with Hakeem, who I obviously manage, and you performing the strippers and Percocets joints. Do you remember that time period musically for you, or just kind of what life was like for you back then?
That was in 2019. And I remember coming back with the Percocets and strippers joint. I think that was like the second beat that I ever decided to remix or whatever, but I just remember hearing Future talk on that shit. Like,
it's different.
Show the shit out in Belgium. Like, I just remember that, and I had to hop on that shit. And for that show, it was actually, I remember calling it "You Should Have Been There," because after that show, it was me and Cool Kid Suicide, and then Hakeem came out, and I remember being excited that he would come out for that show, especially like. That felt like a stamp for us. And I just, after that show, me and Cool Kid Suicide, we ended up, like, that was probably our last show we'll ever do together. And for the people who do know, that was like me and him, we had a thing going on, like a little duo in Omaha. It was kind of legendary.
Definitely.
But yeah, that was a dope ass show.
I definitely remember that night very vividly. Walking across to the gas station and shit, getting snacks in between sets and shit. I definitely remember that very well. How you doing in life, man? How's life for you right now? Beginning in 2024, how you doing?
So, 2024, it kind of feels like a clean slate in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to where it's like, I came to Lincoln about 3 years ago with, it was the first time I had actually, like, settled down in a place and, like, got my own place and, like, learned how to be an adult. Put myself and my life first before I put, like... Because I used to go broke trying to drop the album and, like, have nothing to eat. Like, I remember stealing, like, protein bars at the Walgreens, like, in Omaha. Like, because motherfucker paying for studio time, $25 an hour and shit.
Definitely.
And... so yeah, I learned like discipline to an extent and just like living as an adult, and through that I learned how much of a trap it is, even though I already knew, but it's like I just felt like I can't keep living out of necessity and off of survival. Like if you want to elevate, then you have to think past just survival, and you have to think about making a plan that, okay, if you want a better future, then how can I set things up so they fall into place like better. So I ended up quitting my job and deciding that I'm moving away from Nebraska, just for the sake that we have, like, you're the only media person that I've done an interview with or that has reached out to me or connected with me, and that's really even here. Like there's a few, but they're not doing the best job, I would say. So I'm gonna get out of here and find me, because I feel like it's a now or never thing. Like I feel like I'm ready, and you gotta pay attention to the signs. Like everything kind of cleared its path for me, like cleared my path, I guess. Like life cleared my path, and for the new year, I feel like I'm just ready to go.
Fresh slate. I definitely understand the survival mode thing, and for sure. And you got a good plan, man. I definitely wish you nothing but success. You kind of told me about it to a certain extent, so
I appreciate it.
Some basic biography stuff here. Where was Monty born? Where were you born at, man?
Rose Medical Center, Denver, Colorado. I was born to my mother. I was her first child. After she had been married for 7 years. She was a refugee from Iraq, and so she got married. Then a little bit later, they had to dip out of the country under like threat of execution. So I ended up staying in a camp in Saudi Arabia for like 2 years. Then coming down to Nebraska actually is where they first came, which is where like my uncles and stuff are.
Mm-hmm.
And then they ended up moving to Denver through that, but it was 7 years of marriage where she didn't have a kid. So when she named me El Muntala. So in the song Deviled Eggs, I say she called me El Muntala, not Monty, which is my real name. El Muntala means the expected. It's actually like the name of basically a Messiah.
Okay.
So yeah, and I was born in Denver. Parents didn't have much, and remember my dad working at a gas station, whatever, Section 8, all that. We had some siblings, and Denver was nice. It was a good childhood. I ended up moving to Dubai when we was like 11, and then yeah, that was early childhood though.
Gotcha. What was your first introduction to rap or hip hop, as you, I don't know what you want to call it,
yeah,
that you can remember?
So it's crazy because I used to not listen to music.
Like nothing.
Like yeah, because it was haram. Like I grew up in a Muslim household.
Yeah,
like
sense. Yeah, no.
so it was like this is the devil. Like
Mm-hmm.
so it was always something that was like. I remember going through a period in the 7th grade where I started having doubts about God. Like I started like questioning things, and I remember feeling the fear in the pit of my stomach of going to hell because I knew that these questions in themselves were a sin.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Questioning like everything. Yeah.
And after that led me to going super deep into the religion instead. So it was kind of like a fear. It was like, okay, I'm gonna just dive deeper
back
instead.
into
Like
what you know. Yeah.
Right, and
fight or flight type thing. Definitely.
yeah. So I didn't listen to music. Like I remember actually being in public places and like closing my ears when I would hear music.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
No, that's crazy.
Yeah.
To know you now, that's like very like crazy to think about. I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't imagine that.
And so the first time I guess that I listened to rap was it's gonna sound pretty crazy, but there was this YouTuber called Kev Jumba. Kev Jumba, he was an Asian cat, and they did like covers.
Mm-hmm.
And
like
it was
Kids Bop covers.
Yeah, it was the covers of songs, and I hadn't even heard the original song, but
Okay.
it went like, "Nice guys finish last. That's why I'll treat you like trashes." And so like I just remember just bopping with it like in the 9th grade. Like I kind of like let loose and just I let the music hit me.
Mm-hmm.
And
so you didn't go from like nothing to like Eazy and WA. You kind of because that's not too bad.
Well, it was that week that my sister, she heard me listening to that and she was like, "Let me show you something, Dan. Let me put you on."
Okay.
And she put me on. Eminem 25 to Life.
Okay, so you did kind of go that level.
Oh
okay,
yeah.
For sure, yeah.
Oh, it was.
You damn near did go to EWA because Eminem is.
Eminem.
Yeah.
I just remember hearing Eminem, and what I loved was like, first of all, the cussing.
Yeah.
Like the youthful rage of it. Like I don't give a fuck because I was 14 years old and an angry kid, so it was like it related to me. And then I always loved reading, and I would always like write little comics or stories as a kid. So I was into literature, and the way he used words was just like I remember like just listening and being like, okay, so he stopped in the middle of the word, and then so that rhymed, and then he kept going, and I was just like, I just remember just listening to nothing but Eminem, and not even just listening to nothing but him, but all I did was listen to him for like a straight 2-3 months, like. And then I got into Wayne through No Love, and then Wayne came punch.
My guess was Wayne was gonna be the artist. Like me not knowing the answer to that question, I was
Wayne,
like, he's gonna say Wayne. Like Wayne has to be high up there.
Wayne is the best rapper to me.
Ever.
Bar for bar, like when we want to talk about rap, like the epitome of a rapper. Like even on that Khaled song, the God did what he say. He said something about dreads, face tats. I'm the apex.
I'm the apex. Yeah.
That's like literally how I feel about Wayne. It's
Absolutely.
like he's just a rapper's rapper.
I feel it. I like recently with that. My top 3 is Jay-Z, Drake, and Wayne. And I've kind of like solidified that. That's like I don't think that's ever gonna change for me.
Right.
Just like it's from a basketball perspective. It's to go to sports. It's kind of like Michael Jordan, LeBron, and Kobe. Like Kobe, like they're all nice as fuck.
It's not gonna be no one in the next. Yeah. It's gonna take at least 15 years,
exactly.
Bro. Like
and careers just don't 20, work that way. Like you know what I'm saying. Like the music don't work that way. Like for you to be hot, 5 or 10 years now, like coming out now is like it's difficult. You know what I'm saying? Like we live in the microwave generation, so I figured Wayne would be somewhere in this conversation. That was my guess. Like when I wrote that question, was he's gonna say Wayne probably. I didn't think Eminem. I didn't think that, but that makes sense too. That time period too. So and that was in Dubai. How was life in Dubai, and what was creating and becoming an artist at that point like for you in Dubai of all places? And how was like, I guess another question for me, sorry, is from an internet perspective, how are you even, I don't know the laws. I know that like I kind of have a gist of what life is like, but I don't know, obviously. It's like, how are you even really listening to music there? Like, did you have to go through, is that something you should say on camera? I don't know. But like, how did you get around it? Because I know you can't just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not as easily accessible as it is to us. Like,
so I guess to start, Dubai, it was interesting because when I moved there, I went into the 6th grade, and I remember moving there on some, like, my parents moved me there to kind of hold on to my religion more and learn Arabic, just like learn my roots and my culture, which is something I'm super appreciative of now.
Sure.
But so it was the 6th grade, and I remember being kind of like outcasted a little bit because I was the American kid, which was like kind of surprising to me because it was like, you know, they always talk about go back home.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like I go back home and they're like, nah, you from there.
Yeah.
So I was like, it's interesting because it gave me like an identity thing where it's like I never felt like I actually belonged in one place, but I used that to my advantage to where I was like, okay, I can roam amongst all places in a sense. And
chameleon type of a thing.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing. A lot of people don't have that. So
it was seeing the perspective. I remember this is one of the greatest gifts of that is seeing a whole society that has a whole different set of belief standards and societal norms, and realizing like how much that is ingrained in them, how much they think that is right is just how much we think we're right over here. They think they're right. And it was like, okay, so it was like, it made me not stick to an idea like or cement it really and just like be more open kind of just to different perspectives.
Got you. Yeah. Dubai is one of those places that like I've done a lot of research and spent a lot of time looking into things. I've obviously never been there. But like definitely it's a whole different set of morals, laws, rules, and just like how they live life. Everything is different. So yeah, for you having experience over there to Nebraska, the cultural parallel, there's no like, you know, there's no comparison really, you know what I'm saying? Like there can't be. What were you about to say?
Yeah, back to the music thing, the question you asked me about how we listen to music. They actually they have streaming services over there. I remember it was kind of hard to listen to like explicit music.
That's what I was saying. Well, Eminem was like, you got to fill in a lot of blanks. Like,
yeah. But you just got to finesse technology for real. But I remember it was in the age before it was streaming is when I was listening. Because it was like Recovery had just dropped. This was 2011, I think.
Yeah. 10, 11 type. Yeah, definitely. Recovery.
Around 10, yeah. So it was just like these websites, and I just had an Android phone, and I would just type it. Find songs. Like, that's why I wouldn't even listen to the whole album. I would just find songs with the same cover art and like be like, okay,
I like this one. Like, let's listen to this one. I got you. Makes sense. So speaking about Dubai, and then let's speak about Omaha. Place very near and dear to my heart. I grew up in Omaha. What was your time like in Omaha, and how did that kind of shift and mold you as a? Because we're getting older and older as this timeline goes along here. But like, how did that mold you and affect you as an artist and just a person, I guess, as well?
Honestly, I would say Omaha, which is why, like, when we started, I said I represent the 402, is because, like, even though I'm trying to move from here and I'm disappointed in just the circumstance of creativity and, like, cultural awareness, I still love Omaha and Lincoln. I've grown to love Nebraska in general, but Omaha for me, it was just like my formative years, you know, like I moved there when I was, I believe, 15, and
it's a great way. That's a great little thing you just said there, because that makes perfect sense.
It was like right when shit.
Formative years is like those years that really, really matter.
Yeah, so it's like
absolutely,
it's like my heart, like all those memories. Like whenever I drive past the streets, like it just evokes something in me. Like when I feel the air there, it's just different.
I completely understand that.
I got there so I remember being in the theaters in Dubai. It was like end of summer type shit. I'm just with my friends, and actually I was engaged to be married at that time because I had kind of like. It was arranged.
Yeah.
And it was in Iraq. And it had been like ongoing for a year or whatever. But anyway, so my dad was like, we don't have enough money to pay for your schooling and you're the oldest kid, which is the most expensive. So we're going to send you over to live with your uncle who lives in Omaha. And my cousin, who's like my best friend and my brother, he's my uncle's son. Mm-hmm. So I was like, kind of a little bit shocked. It was like, oh y'all, like I'm kind of being sacrificed here, right? So, but yeah, they sent me there, and I just remember being green. I just remember being like fresh off the boat.
No, I could fucking imagine.
Like the first week I was there, we went to like a back to school dance, and I remember like the crowd of high school kids like. My cousin was there, and I guess I'm just, like, following my cousin because I don't know what the fuck else to do. And I just remember, like, standing on the outskirts of the circle, and somebody actually, like, calling out, like, how awkward I looked and being like, this kid don't know what the fuck he's doing. And I just, like, I remember being, like, embarrassed and, like, not knowing what the fuck I was doing. So it was, like, it was a learning process of actually being cool, like you socially acceptable or whatever.
Being engraved to a new culture, that's a hell of a culture shock. That's probably one of the biggest culture shocks you could possibly do, to be honest with you, coming from there to Omaha specifically. North Omaha too, right?
Nah, it was West Omaha.
West Omaha. Okay.
We went.
Still, Omaha's Omaha nonetheless, like compared to where you were coming from, absolutely. So, you mentioned that your sister is the one that kind of, I believe you said that, kind of let you like, hey, let me show you Eminem, like let me show you something else. Would you say that your family is like a music centric? Probably not. I'm guessing based on the beginning of the sermon, but are you the one in the family, if that makes sense, when it comes to like, oh, he's different, he makes music, like, you know what I'm saying? We all do maybe more traditional things, but like this one is the one that makes music. Are you that person in your family?
Well, the way I would answer that is, my family is definitely not music centric, but we are, and this is something me and my siblings, I have 3 of them, and we all are kind of like very passionate to where we find something, and we have like obsessiveness about it. Like we just can't let it go because my brother's like he's an MMA fighter, he's a cage fighter, and he actually inspired me because I moved him. So when I got my job, I helped move him over here to work with me on some like real life family shit. And he ended up, before me, getting up out of there and like getting fights and like going to find a gym, and he trains full time and shit. And so I'm like, damn, bro, okay. So we're not music centric, but we're definitely very like passionate and stubborn people. And the other thing is, there's a lot of poets in my family. And the thing about Arabic is, like, they say the Quran was the miracle of Muhammad. Like, Jesus could, like, raise people from the dead, and Moses could split the sea. And what Muhammad had, they say he didn't have miracles, but the miracle he had was the beauty of the words in the Quran. Like, Arabic is a beautiful language that can be. It's just a very diverse, complicated, elegant language. So we have a lot of poets in my family, and I feel like that's something that really makes me stand out as an artist, is like the way that I can
put words together. Like you kind of have like a poetic background necessarily, kind of like underlying.
And it comes with soul too, you know. It's not just knowledge of words, but it's also like a old soul. But I come from somewhere. there's value in knowing where your soul comes from. Like you could be an old soul, but you could be a old soul that's familiar with self, and that's a whole different ballgame.
I feel it. Next question here. Who and what inspires you as a human being and as an artist? Specifically more as a human being, but also as an artist.
As a human being, I feel like people with balance, character, and authenticity inspire me. People who are not only themselves, because you could be yourself and annoying.
Absolutely. You still be a dickhead and be yourself.
Yeah.
That be authentic and genuine for you.
But like, and I love people with good hearts. But then there's the thing about, like, if you have a good heart, a lot of people with good hearts, it's kind of weak. It's like, do you have a good heart, or are you just giving it out to anybody, and you just, like, you want love so bad that you're just, like, showing it to everybody. Yeah. So, I would say I respect people who, like, I could see results of their lifestyle and their mindset, and, like, one person I would say, like, we're in bro's room right now.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard not to think about him. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember, and this is genuine, when I came to a point of, because it's been a long journey of me being an artist, and when I came to a point of, I actually had the thought in my head of, like, yo, maybe I should just go to college and, like, bro, like, just get this little job and be comfortable, stop living like this or whatever. And then that was the same time that, like, bro was opening up the business and shit, and just, I'm like, and just going crazy. I'm like, dropping project after project after project, and it honestly it woke me up to be like, bro, if you watch this shit go down in front of your eyes, like, if you watch bro just go up and do his thing, knowing damn well you could do your thing too, like, in your own way, if you let that shit happen, then, bro, you gonna look at yourself later and be like, damn, you was a bitch. Like, and that is something that just, it fucking drives me. That's why I can't stop, and that's why I'm a person who has a sense of purpose. So I'm like, no matter what I do, it's always going to eat at me. These songs are always they're going to pop up, whether maybe I won't think of something for 6 months, but it's going to pop up and it's going to eat at me, and I'm going to want to show it to people. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, that's just why I can't stop.
I respect that. Definitely. Moving on to a little bit more musical topics here. Where are you at right now musically? I know we're here to talk about a project specifically, but are you still actively creating? I don't think as artists you guys ever, in my personal opinion, seeing you all, I don't think you guys ever stop creating. That doesn't necessarily mean you're writing and looking at beats and shit every day, listening to beats and shit every day, but are you creating? Are you formatting? Is this like are you in a break? Because I know you're about to, like you said, you're about to hit the road and everything. Where are you at musically right now?
So kind of where I'm at right now is basically I had a year where I just unlocked a new level of consistency, I would say. And I've completed a project that I've been working on for the past 6 years. So everything that I've been dropping has kind of, and this is no disrespect to any of the projects I've dropped, like solo albums, collab albums, whatever, but it's kind of been like a side mission in the sense that it feels like this is necessary to either sharpen my blade or grow my audience to get this project out. So that project is 17 songs and it's sitting. And that's the whole reason that I'm like moving, and I feel really moved, like I have to deliver this message. So I feel like I owe it to the universe to just go and pursue that and make sure I can deliver this message right, because something that I've learned from doing before is putting my all into a project and then dropping it with the belief that this music is good enough and it will just carry itself. But the thing is, like, what makes a classic album, the biggest thing I would say is the impact that it has when it drops. You know, so it's like, how can it be a classic album if 5 or 3 years later is when 3 or 4 songs off of it pop, which is how it would go if it doesn't have that impact when it actually drops.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just like, musically, I have a stash of songs that I really believe in, and I'm not creating too much right now. I'm more in the space of getting my shit together so we could get this movement going.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting on a lot of music. Still, it's all, the spirit is always in me, but yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm just trying to start off with this project that we're here to talk about, and I'm just saying it's called "Don't Spare Me," and it's kind of, it came to me. It's a collection of songs that is not. I wasn't gonna drop them because all of them I wrote them on some like super personal shit to where it's like for example the songs where I talk about X and his passing, like I decided in my mind that I'm not gonna drop that because I don't want to be like, oh, like bro's trying to like come up off of X's name or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it feels kind of like it weighs on me, like this little collection of songs is something that I have to get off of my chest before I can move in and like come with a new rejuvenated, this is the artist me, like this is me with the new fit or whatever I'm doing, like getting my vibe. Like I just have to give y'all the real, and I just have to let y'all know I could rap better than everybody first.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and then we're gonna, yeah, that's where I'm at. Pretty good place to be.
Got you. For this project again, we just went over the name of it. Don't Spare Me. What is your biggest growth as an artist? And I'm just going off of projects from DSPs, but from Rainbows on the Mood Ring to present day, or you can go further back than that as well, as from your very first thing that you put on SoundCloud, maybe. What is that growth look like to you? What is your like summary of beginning to now?
Okay, there's a couple things. One thing I would say is patience. When you said the SoundCloud thing, because like my first thing that I dropped was a voice note. I have a secret SoundCloud with like voice note songs on it. I got you.
And your SoundCloud, like, you're one of them, like, you fuck with SoundCloud. I know you do. Yeah. And I know you got some shit on there for sure. It's like that some people may or may not know about for sure. Exactly. So yeah, I definitely want you to touch on SoundCloud a little bit.
Yeah. So where was I at? My fault.
No, my bad. Talking about the voice notes on SoundCloud.
Oh yeah.
Just the progression to
patience. So like, one thing I've learned is just be patient and make sure everything is done, like the cover art, the mixing, the mastering, get the beat untagged, all that simple shit that really, like, cause nobody really breaks that shit down for artists. It's like they're like, oh yeah, go in the studio and make sure you market your shit, but it's like, okay, break it down, like, bro, first of all, get yourself, if you don't start off with your own recording studio, go to a studio, figure out, get comfortable on the mic, get a mixing engineer. Like, if your song is good and you drop it with no mix, it's not going nowhere. Nobody wants to listen to it.
We've seen that 1,000 times. People, even bigger artists, that Currency is an example of that, to be honest with you. He'll record some shit on Saturday and Sunday morning it'll be on fucking SoundCloud. Which is dope as an intaker of music.
Like the spirit of creativity.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what it's all about, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, I can't ride to this in the car. I can't gym. Right. I can't do nothing because this shit is hurting my ears, you know what I'm saying? Because it's so imbalanced.
Yeah, it's right.
But no, yeah, that patience that's a good point.
Patience. Another thing I would say, bro, is substance. And that just comes with, like, obviously I could say like I've gotten better at rapping or singing, whatever, but that comes with time. But one thing is like growing as a human being, taking that time, which is something I learned from Mac Miller, honestly, is like, you gotta be a better human to be an artist. So I've been through a lot, and I have more to talk about, and it's like, I remember being plagued with this voice in the back of my head saying, what is your story? And I remember, because I was just a young kid, like I didn't have, when you're not a man, you stand on your father's name.
Yeah.
You know, so
Definitely.
I had to just go get some real texture to me to where like I feel like, oh yeah, y'all safe with me, you know.
No, for sure.
And yeah, I have more to talk about. I'm standing on shit. I'm a cool person. I fuck with myself. People fuck with me as they should.
It's a dope place to be in life for sure. Once you focus yourself, that's kind of like a heaven on earth thing to me. To be honest with you, for sure. Substance is a very interesting answer because, from my introduction, obviously from Hakeem to you, I don't think you ever liked substance musically. I don't know. As a person, obviously, we don't talk every day nonetheless.
I don't think I ever did,
Yeah,
but
like,
I think I have.
I think you've always been like us. Like
I appreciate
that's
that.
why.
Thank
I mean, if you didn't, I wouldn't rock with your music at all. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like
you.
some people I can listen to, and it's just like, oh, it's cool beats, and it's like up. You know, we're having fun. You know what I'm saying? There's certain artists
It's
like that.
more
But,
of
like,
a.
you are a rapper, so like your substance is very much has always been there in my personal opinion. So that's an interesting answer that you said that actually.
And what I wanted to say is more of like. Not I would say I didn't have substance, but now I have something to stand on. Like I'm tested. You know what I'm saying? Like just as a man, like you can just look yourself in the mirror and be like, no, I've actually been through it and I could get through it again.
True growth. Absolutely.
Yeah, instead of just like a wide-eyed kid, like I could probably do this. Like I'm like, nah, I could do this.
I could do it. Confidence. And,
yeah,
absolutely. A few more questions here. As an artist, what gives you the most joy when you create, when the fans intake your music, shows, feedback? What gives you the most joy as an artist?
Honestly, I'd say like the live performance aspect of it has always been something like that's how I really started in this shit. Like before I ever recorded or even my way of getting to a studio was word of mouth of like, oh, this motherfucker just comes in here and spits. Like, I'm a live spitter, and I love that reaction. Like, I'm the guy who... This is a crazy story I'm going to tell real quick. One time I was in Cyprus visiting my brother. He was studying over there. And this Cyprus is between Turkey and Greece. It's a little strip of land. They got mountains. They got beaches. It's a nice little old village or whatever. And so we was in a village, like an old village type setting in a bar, and the DJ, it was just like I think like a Friday night or whatever. Bars is decently packed, but it's not packed though, and it's outdoors shit. So my friend is there with me, and the DJ is like playing shit. He's like, "Yo, bro, you gotta spit some shit. I'm gonna tell this DJ to put on a beat." So he puts on a random beat. I bust out Preschool Freestyle, and I just remember just going off, and then I opened my eyes and I looked, and there was a crowd going past like the entrance to where it's like it's a bunch of little houses, like you know like how a little neighborhood look, and it was just fucking packed beyond belief. And I just remember just seeing the power of my words in real life. Like I remember one of the best moments I had, it brought me a lot of joy, was me and my brother Thile. We came home from Omaha one night, and it was just a long night of like just bullshit, you know, just Omaha shit.
Definitely.
And I rapped Dearly Departed from I Could Use Some Help, and I remember busting out in tears in the middle of it, and him busting out in tears too, and us just holding each other. It's like 7 a.m. in the morning. We're downstairs in the basement, two grown men holding each other crying off of these what I said in these words, and I'm like, damn, bro, like that's the shit that gives me joy, is like people actually feeling something.
Music is powerful. Words are powerful. Definitely. Absolutely. I love that answer. Not on this list of questions, but what are you hoping to, I wouldn't say gain, but what do you, from Don't Spare Me, what do you want from Don't Spare Me from a fan perspective? Like, what do you anticipate? Not want, but yeah, more so anticipate. Like, what do you think the fans are going to think? What do you think? Because you're getting, like you said, you're letting the weight off of you to kind of open up for the rest of your music and the rest of the year and the rest of your, like, career, essentially. What do you hope to gain, I'd say, from Don't Spare Me?
Okay, that's an interesting question because I feel like I built a coping mechanism of because of how personal the music is sometimes when you drop it and you have like an expectation or a want of like, oh, like I hope people like really feel my pain this time, or like I hope like it just goes crazy and everyone feel. You could get disappointed, you can get bitter, you can get angry. Like I've watched rappers, and that's the most unappealing thing about when they say old rappers. It's not bros old. It's you've become weathered by life. You've let your skin be eroded. You know what I'm saying. You've let your heart be dimmed.
Yeah.
So it's like honestly, I'm not really looking at for anything in return. All I know is I'm giving something of value, and what I want to do is just from like a business perspective is see how far I can push this music, because this type of music is something I used to shy away from, which is why I told you I didn't want to drop these songs, is they're so personal. I feel like nobody give a fuck about that shit. But I want to see how far I can push it, and if I actually, because it's brave to make the music, but it's even braver to go and hand somebody the CD or just be like, fuck with this, right?
Yeah, put it into the atmosphere. Absolutely,
it's different to take your heart out and then to actually walk up to somebody and hand them it, you know. So I feel like that's what I want to do this time. And that's why I wanted to do my first actual sit down interview. That's why I want to do a lot of things that I didn't do. I'm having patience with this project, just because I want to. Hey man, I'm gonna take my heart out. I'm gonna give y'all this shit. Y'all enjoy that, and now I'm gonna come out with some bangers for y'all. We gonna have fun after that, but just get to know me first.
I like that. Two more. Kind of a follow up to that. What is your next like growth benchmark? Is kind of how I wrote it down. You kind of answer that to a certain extent as an artist, but even as a human being, like you said, you got more grit and more things you've been through, so you kind of understand who you are and you like who you are at this moment. What is your next like growth benchmark and just in life to you? Like again, you about to hit the road, experience a lot of new and different things, try a lot of new and different things. What is that next benchmark, if you will, without kind of trying to reach a level of disappointment as well, because you can do that in life too with certain life expectations. But what is something you're kind of looking forward to, like trying to attain and reach that next level for you in life?
Well,
not just musically, sorry. So
right. Simply put, I wanna be able to make a living off of music first and foremost, and I have way bigger aspirations than that.
Yeah.
But this is like a first and foremost. Let's get this out the way. I want to be working 40 hours for nobody no more, and I feel like I shouldn't have to. If I actually put the effort into getting the ball rolling for the music is beyond good enough for me not to. That's the least I can ask from the world.
Absolutely.
Okay, don't make me work 40 hours.
Absolutely.
Then I would say as a human, to be honest, it's when we say like we're talking about grit and gaining that texture, and I remember saying this line. Feel like I've been learning just so I can unlearn, and basically, I feel like I've become hardened a little bit, too much, a little bit too much, and I know I need that texture, but I feel like I want to peel back a little bit and maybe like heal some personal relationships, because my personal life in the past couple years has just been a mess, to say the least. I've tried, I've tried my goddamn best, but it's a lot of things that need mending, and I know it's a lot of things that maybe can't be mended that I might just have to heal myself from. Sometimes you can't get that closure or whatever, but
absolutely,
that's where I'm at. Try to be in less pain and less uncomfortable, honestly, is my answer.
Got you. Kind of open up a certain level of like personal vulnerability.
Right.
I definitely get what you mean. When you get to a certain level of being hardened, you definitely do got to peel back, because either you live the rest of your life this way, and you're just kind of this like steel human being, like everything. You know what I'm saying? You're just this hard human being, but you definitely do need to peel that back to get a certain level of vulnerability. And I'm talking out for myself as well, but I definitely feel that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's my last question. Interview with Monty, new project coming out soon. Don't Spare Me. Definitely looking forward to that. How can people reach you and enjoy your art? Shout out your DSPs, shout out your Instagram, snaps, whatever you got.
Uh, First of all, add me on Snapchat. Monty has juice.
Okay.
I just be wilding on Snapchat. I treat it more personally, kind of like I just act like it's just my friends on there. And then Instagram, Monty Alkanas. And all my other handles are gonna be Monty Alkanas. And I don't know. I deleted Twitter honestly because sometimes I just say shit like I'm impulsive and shit, and I feel like that works against me. So I may download Twitter, or I may get a manager soon and have them. But hey, if you want to reach me, Monty Alkanas.
I got you.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. That's the end of episode 2. This is Don, the host of the Real Spill podcast. Here with my boy Monty again for the interview series. I appreciate y'all watching. As always, feel free to like, subscribe, comment, and share wherever you get your podcasts. This will be available, of course, on YouTube. At the end of this episode, my boy's going to spit a acapella to a song from his project, The Intro with Grace. So here's my boy Monty.
Hey, when you hear this letter, I hope that it tears you apart. Because you knew my pain, beloved, you was there from the start. We traded souls, told me that I held a share of your heart. The first to ever see me cry, the first to love me and hurt me. It hurts to say I still carry the marks. And all the dirt I shovel out, that's cause of buried remarks. And things you never said that makes me say these things. And pray somebody cares for this art. I must be selfish as fuck. I must ain't help them enough. I must be helpless and stuck. I must not stick to my guns. I think I'm sleeping for not keeping it tucked. Say I'm misled by my gut. Well, you don't thrive in the dark. You just be deep in a rut. And you ain't black enough for rap. No Lou to keep it a buck. But I love it. I've been summoned. When I'm done, I keep writing. I'm a beast. I knew that when I was watching Teen Titans. Shape-shifting to your liking. Felt the home in Karbala. Me and them spirits got a likeness. I've been treading treacherous waters. I've been raiding with some Vikings. Parading on my flaws for validation that it might bring. The kid in me been drifting. I've been chasing after kite strings. The darkness in me fading. I love when you tell me nice things. My shadow won't detach. The claws don't retract. The love is the feedback. I'm comfortable, seat back. My plug got a deep stash. She gave me the free pack. My baby in rehab. I know she gon' relapse. It's cold in these streets, black. Ride with a ski mask. We ride till we crash. My mic is a speed bag. Tell Smooth to keep that. The vocals is hitting. Look around and witness this a ill-spoken existence. Broken homes and evictions. Speak with the coldest conviction. We don't promote for attention. I don't be forcing a friendship. I'm out alone in the trenches. Ran from home. I always swung for the fences. At times exhausted my engine. We gonna be smoking in Benzes. I know I see you again. Shh. We gonna be here forever. Way that I keep going at it. Just like when she say I cheated. And I say she's so dramatic. Hopeless addict. Dying in my temple with her body as an offering. Says she'll never leave. I got a test to drive her far from me. I told my bitch awful things. She showed me the God in me. With grace, mama, I'ma end this letter properly. One more.